My first word of advice is do something where you sweat every day. When you're starting off, it doesn't matter what that is. Go on a 2-mile walk. I don't care. Go on a
Exactly.
2-mile walk. Go to the gym whenever you can. Even go to the sauna if you do something where you break a sweat every single day. Because that's the challenge that you have to put in your mind, that you have to overcome that, and it lingers in your mind every day.
Okay, so let's talk about discipline. I think it's a big one. We said it a few times here, right? How to build discipline, right? I'm a big person. I'm a believer that the number one thing, besides doing all these other, ancillary things and this, that, and the other, I think the first thing is you need to have a daily workout regimen. That's the best way to build discipline, in my opinion. And it teaches you so many different skills. How do you feel? What are the best ways if someone's listening to this podcast, if they're not that disciplined, how do they start training that muscle?
My first word of advice is do something where you sweat every day. When you're starting off, it doesn't matter what that is. Go on a 2-mile walk. I don't care. Go on a
Exactly.
2-mile walk. Go to the gym whenever you can. Even go to the sauna if you do something where you break a sweat every single day. Because that's the challenge that you have to put in your mind, that you have to overcome that, and it lingers in your mind every day. So, if I start getting to the afternoon, even at night, and I've had a very busy day, and I get back to my house in Houston, I get back to my apartment up here in DC, and I haven't worked out yet, I'm not putting my head in the pillow unless I go do something where I work out. There have been times where I've been busy all day, went out to dinner, had a steak and dessert and all this stuff, hadn't worked out, get back to my apartment, and I go walk on the treadmill for 5 miles.
For
Just
5 miles?
or else I can't sleep.
Yeah. I mean, also, I think working out began the more people have this idea that oh, I'm too tired, I can't work out. But energy begets energy, right? I feel way more energized when I work out. Now, not to mention the mood enhancing thing. If I don't work out, my productivity throughout the day is so much worse than if I
And
actually did that
the human
workout.
psyche, the human psyche, human condition thrives on accomplishment. So as difficult as it was to get to the gym, the level of accomplishment that I feel when I am done is always worth it.
Yes, I totally
Always
agree with
worth
you.
it's just sometimes getting there is always the hard part. But once you get there and show up, you'd be surprised at what you can accomplish.
I think that level of accomplishment is I think that's a really great way of putting it, because that level of accomplishment it kind of proves to yourself number one, I did it. So there's this feeling of confidence that you get that you actually followed through and that you finished something. But it does shift in your brain something where it allows for everything else. I feel to me, that's why it's the most fundamental habit before anything else. And I get why you did that. Even though it was 10, let's say you got home from dinner, you had this huge steak or whatever else, but you probably felt so gross that you needed to kind of do that to kind of
To offset it. Yep.
offset it, right? And so that to me, okay, so what are other things? Tell me other ways that someone, I think, tell me how other ways that people can start training that discipline muscle, in your opinion.
I had my best friend from Westbrook was a powerlifting champion while we were there. His name was Adam Smoot, and he was a physical freak of nature. Just a complete animal. And everybody would always ask him for advice, like Adam, what do we do? What program? What supplement? How much protein? Do you do creatine? Do you do all this stuff? He had the best answer that stuck with me now for over 20 years. He said, it doesn't matter what you do. Just do it consistently. He goes, go find a workout program, go find a workout regimen that's conducive for your schedule and your life and your needs, what your goals are, and just do it consistently. And you will ultimately get better. And then as you get better and you see improvement, well, then you want to see more improvement. You want to get better. And then that's how you start to build that drive within you. You start losing some weight. You start getting stronger here and there. You're like, well, I want to get stronger. I'm looking pretty good. How can I get better? That's one way of doing it. The other thing you talked about was setting a goal for yourself. So summer is coming. Summer is always coming. spring break is always coming. This is back in the day. We were going to Cancun and Acapulco, all that fun stuff. It's like you don't want to go Cancun and Acapulco looking like a slob. So you so you start realizing that like I want to work out because I want to look good when I'm on the beach. That might seem like something that's like so mundane and so subtle that like who cares about that kind of thing. But
Or so just like it's so superficial, but that sometimes is all you need.
exactly. Like how do you motivate yourself to give yourself that drive?
Yeah,
I'm a huge Michael Jordan fan, and I'm now that you're seeing all these stories come out about Michael Jordan and things that he did to motivate himself. He would lie to himself about one of his opponents talking trash about him just to get himself going in the game. And then he would obviously go out and score 40 points. He'd be like, what happened? Well, I told myself that this dude said that I wasn't the best player in the world. Another player would be like, I never said that. He's like, well, I told myself that to get myself going. That's just one example
I
of
know.
whatever you can do to motivate yourself. It might be literally as superficial as I want to look good when I go to the beach.
Totally. I
That's
think
what
like, and there's nothing wrong with having these mental mind tricks. Like you should think, like you should hear some of the crazy ideas or the crazy things that go through my head when I'm running, just to kind of keep me from stopping, right? Because I
yeah.
think the funny thing is everyone thinks for me, and there was like, oh, how would you stay so motivated? Believe me, it's not motivation; it's actually discipline. I don't love working out. I hate it. Sometimes I hated it today. I hated it yesterday. I dread it. But it's that feeling of accomplishment and feeling of I did something that like helps me go through the rest of my day in a different mindset. So it's not about liking it. God knows. I do a lot of things I hate, right? And but I was also going to say about the Michael Jordan thing. Like to me, it's like whatever gets you to do what you need to do. Who cares? But what I was also going to say, and I can't really remember what I was going to say now, but that. Well, I don't remember now. But what is your day?
One good thing for me too is like I have little kids. I have 6, 4, and 2-year-old, and
Yeah, they're
and I want to
small.
be healthy. I want to be healthy for them.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know, by the time they're graduating high school and college and all this stuff, I still want to be in tip top shape for them. So it's not just about you. It's about your family. It's about your overall health. It's important to be a healthy person, to have a leaner phenotype. All these things are really important, not just for the superficial side of it, for the look side of it, but for the functional health side of it too.
absolutely. So, what is your routine? Give me your day. What's the day in the life now?
For my workout splits,
Or just in
basically,
general, like give me what's your habits? Like what's your morning routine? What's your habits? Like how do you
here's the crazy,
stay?
here's the crazy thing about being a congressman. Every day is different. I
Okay.
actually don't have a set day, so a set like time. Like
Yeah.
I'll go at the same time every day. It depends on when I can squeeze it in. And so usually I carve out time at some point, a couple of hours between noon and 4 o'clock is when I go to the gym. I also eat one meal a day. That's my thing. I eat one meal a day, and that meal usually comes at about between 4 and 6 o'clock, because you get up to DC, running around, you're traveling all over the country. I was on 138 flights last year. And so by the time you're done with breakfast and then lunch and then cocktail hour and then happy hour and then dinner, you look up and you've gained like 20 pounds. So I have made this a very simple proposition for myself. One meal a day, work out between noon and 4 o'clock at some point, accomplish those two things, I'm good to go. That works for me. Doesn't work for everybody else. Some people don't have time to leave work in the middle of the day. So you got to get up in the morning or you got to do it at night. Well, I discourage people from working out at night because by the time you get home and you've had a full day, it can be quite difficult to motivate yourself. Therefore, getting up in the morning and knocking it out is also not a terrible, not a
Right.
terrible.
Why don't you do that then? Why are you waiting until noon to 4? Why don't you just like knock it out the first thing in the morning?
Because I got old.
There you go. Also, and
I got old and getting up in the morning. And I want to
you
have a very good workout. I want to walk around for a little while, get the joints going, get moving around, feel awake, and then do it. If I have to get up in the morning, I will though. So there are times where I look at my schedule and the only time I can do this is at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'm in the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning.